Hello and welcome to Story on the Spot. I'm the Arbiter, Jim Heskett, and going around, we introduce the guys. First, we have Mr. Kevin Tumlinson over here. Going on there is Craig, I have a book for sale, Hart. And rounding us out is the Sticky Bandit R.A. McGee in his white shirt today. And we will be right back and say hi to these guys after our introduction. If I can find the thing to click. Here we go. And this is Story on the Spot, the world's only thriller fiction improv game show. How's everybody doing today? Real good?
Okay.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Bueno.
Why not?
All right. Anybody have any important announcements at the top of the show? You need anything, any burning desires to get something out there? Kevin has one.
Sort of. I'm trying to remember the URL, so it doesn't make any. It's all moot if I can't remember the URL.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
We have a pre-order, a box of pre-order called Her Silent Shadow. You know what? Let's just dial this out. We're fine. Nothing to promote here.
Kevin said, back it up. Nothing. Lisa says hello. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
And this is Story on the Spot, episode number 31. 31. We've been doing this for over 6 months now, which is crazy. The world's first and only thriller improv game show. And so last week's winner was Kevin Tumlinson.
Woohoo!
I know, I can't believe it either.
Me neither.
Hey, Kevin, you did it. Kevin, you have
a use of whatever the secret word was.
Was it
over the top?
Persnickety? That was a few weeks ago.
That was a few weeks ago. I don't remember what the word was.
I don't.
Kerfluffle? Was it kerfluffle?
Kerfluffle?
I think it was amnesia.
I can tell you that today's secret word is going to make you guys mad.
Uh-oh.
I can almost guarantee you.
Taxes? Is it taxes?
You'll see.
It's taxes,
You'll see.
isn't it?
It's coming up right here today. Okay. Well, first of all, actually, it's not coming up right here. First of all, I am going to explain to the nonpartisan listeners and watchers how you play the game. So here's what's going on. I'm the arbiter. These three guys are the contestants. I'm going to put up story prompts, and these guys are going to pitch stories. They have not seen these stories before, so it is true improv. They're going to pitch stories, and then you watching, you'll vote down below by comment on which one you like each round. So now here is this bonus word that's going to make you mad. Today's bonus word is Gitterdone.
Oh, that's good, man. I live in North Carolina, dude. I say get her done all the time, man. Are you kidding?
The act or exemplification of getting it done. So if you can display the secret word, you're going to get one of these, and you'll also get a bonus point. So I know. All right. Are we ready to get going on our first round?
Let's get her done.
Get her done.
This sure is going to be interesting. All right.
I'm going to call foul on that just because I didn't think to do it too. So.
There's still time, brother.
Oh, Craig.
Yeah.
You can do it, Craig. Get her done.
Double dip.
Here's our first round. This is called Rush the Gate. Passersby were reported to be incredulous at signs posted outside an elementary school in France, asking parents to refrain from throwing their children over the locked gate when they are late to school. And parents who arrive after the ringtone literally threw their children away, the principal said.
There was
Nick's
no
not here, so I
warning.
can do accents.
No
Sorry,
drop for that.
While there were no reported injuries, the practice alarmed school officials enough to create the signs, which feature an adult stick figure tossing a child-sized stick figure over the gate. All right, so who is going to be the first to pitch us a story based on
I want to go. If nobody else has
ready.
one, yeah, I want to get this. I got to get this out of my head. Okay.
Okay.
So I think what we're dealing with in this situation is what city was that in France?
It didn't say. It didn't say.
Okay. Wherever. Toulouse. Let's say it's Toulouse. Okay. So what we're dealing with in Toulouse is we're dealing with a very kind of depraved population in Toulouse. And what I mean by that is that there has been very, whereas we had prohibition, they had a prohibition against gambling for many, many years. Okay. And there was no legalized gambling anywhere in Toulouse. And so what happened was a few years back, some of the politicians got together and decided that it'd be a good money-making endeavor to have legalized gambling in the city. You know, it would give them good revenue. All right. And so they did that. And the problem is, for about 5 years afterwards, the populace of Toulouse, the parents, the husbands, the wives, everyone, they all became addicted to gambling. Okay. And so the mayor and the governor of the province, they kind of knew that like this was not a good idea, and revenue or not, we have to reverse this course, because we have people that are just basically wasting away to nothing. They're becoming degenerate gamblers. So they closed down all the casino establishments. Well, that didn't go over well with the degenerates, right? They didn't wean them off. They just cold turkeyed them for gambling. So they decided, what's the one thing that we all have to do every day? And that's take our children to school. All right. Well, I bet you, right, that I can throw my kid over that gate further than you can. And the challenge was joined. And so that's what this is. It's got nothing to do. They're late on purpose. They're all throwing their kids just to see who can throw their kid the furthest to win money in the underground gambling pools that Toulouse has. So that's what's happening right now.
Nice. Thank you, RA. Let me put the story back up here so Kevin and Craig can get a chance to take a look at it.
Yep. Hold on. You guys do what you got to do. I'll check in on something. I'm sorry.
All right, Craig, that means it's your turn.
Suspicious.
He's got his ghostwriter telling him right now.
All right.
All right.
He's got Nick.
Right. The ideas have been delivered. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. So what happens is a few decades ago, there was a guy who was born, and he was actually abandoned by his parents and set on whatever the French equivalent of the fire station is. I don't know if that's where you send kids there or whatever. He was taken in by, say, a firefighter and raised up, and he's been kind of doing what he can to help abandoned children since then. Well, this is now sometime in the future, this story. And so France has passed a one-child law to control the population. But of course, parents often want to have more than one child. And so it's early on, so they haven't really started to enforce it really strictly yet. So people are kind of slipping by and trying to have extra kids. But now the force comes in, and the police, and says, all right, we're going to start taking, anybody has more than one kid who is past the deadline, we're going to start, taking your kids and shipping them off to God knows where, little work camps or whatever, so they can make little booties for the legitimate children, right?
Berets. They're making berets.
Right? Little tiny berets for the legit kids. That's so adorable. I'm trying to make this all depressing and dark, and he's like, oh.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Craig.
No, but this guy who was taken in by the firefighters and raised, he is of the mind and the political bent. You're like, no, this is wrong thing. We can't be controlling people's lives this way. So he goes kind of undercover, and he sets up this place where he's like, you know what? You can come and drop your kids off here. I'll deliver them to the work camps. I'll take care of everything so it doesn't become a burden on the state or whatever. And so what happens is this turns into kind of a sanctuary place for kids. It's like a equivalent to a sanctuary city. But if you get your kid in there, the state can't take it. And so you've got people who are being chased by the cops, and they're carrying their extra kid, and they don't have time to do a clean exchange. So they're just chucking the kid over the gate. And once it's over the gate, they're safe. So that's what's going on. It's just a matter of parents trying to save their extra kids that have been born after the cutoff.
Save those extra kids.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kevin Tumlinson, it is down to you.
All right. Am I up? All right.
You're up.
Well, let me open the envelope that my assistant handed me. Okay. So
Tell Nick I said hi.
Actually, so what we've got here is a situation that started off innocent enough. A parent arrived a little late. They really needed their kid to go to school. They were having kind of a bad day themselves, so they hoisted their kid over the fence. But what happened was, as their kid passed over the iron fence, they burst into flame and turned to ashes and fell to the ground. And what we ended up discovering from this was that we have an infestation of changelings. We have these supernatural beings who, when they are exposed, when they pass over iron, as you know, in some mythologies, as a magical creature passes over water or iron, it has a deleterious effect on them. It can hurt them, kill them, destroy them. So we inadvertently discovered that we have this infestation of changelings in this community. And so people start throwing their kids over the fence just to make sure that their kid hasn't been changed into a changeling. And every time one of these things disappears, their child appears in a portal beside them with a whole story about where they've been since they were abducted in the night. So now, because of this, we begin to organize, and now we're gonna fight back. Everybody's going to arm themselves. The local government has come up with a plan, and it's like, get her done. We're going to get over. We're going to get these changelings out of our community. We're going to get our children back, and that is the winning pitch. Go ahead and vote for me, everybody. Comments. Kevin in the comments.
If those parents only knew, you can get a changeling testing kit from Amazon for way cheaper.
Well, and they're offering drive-by changeling tests now at CVS, but you have to make an appointment in advance.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, the second round is going to be a bonus round. It's something a little bit different. It's kind of like Interrupter, except I didn't like the way the Interrupter ended with the timer going off because it sort of cut off the stories. So this one's a little bit different. And this one's more like Interrupter, except you get to deliberately screw over your neighbor. So here's the rule. Somebody starts with the pitch, which is below, which I'll read in just a second. Then you can take the story wherever you want. And then at a point that feels comfortable to you, you pass it to someone else, and you can pick who you pass it to. So feel free to write yourself way into the corner and then pass it off to your neighbor. And so we'll just see where it goes, and we'll stop when it feels right. And here's the pitch. Indiana Jones and James Bond team up to solve a problem in London. Who wants to start?
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, I'll go. So the problem is that Indiana Jones and James Bond have had this kind of rivalry going on for a long time, and they've gotten everybody else involved, the public. So there's this affair going on, like a spy affair, and they're like, you know what, we're going to have Indiana Jones, James Bond come up here, and they're finally going to fight it out on the mat to put an end to this debate once and for all, so we can find out which one of these guys is the best film hero. So they both go there, and on the way, they're on the plane, and they overhear some guys in the back of the plane talking about infiltrating the fair and how they're going to have a mass casualty event there. And so they land the plane, and they're trying to decide, should we take these guys out now, or should we just follow them to see if they lead us to the mastermind of this so we can take down the big guy, or what should we do? And pass to Kevin.
Okay, so I didn't hear any of Craig's story because I was thinking of my own stuff.
Pass the sticky.
So wait, so Indiana Jones, James Bond is trying to take authority over this whole scenario and issue orders and everything, and Indiana Jones says, "You're not my father." Pass to RA.
It's well done. Well done. I just want to like that for a second before I say something. I really like that. And so, James Bond says, look, Junior, I am definitely your daddy. I may not be your father, but I'm your daddy. Okay. When we're in London, all right, we're going to do things my way. Okay. And Indiana doesn't really like that, but regardless, they set off trying to stop the mass casualty event that Craig mentioned before. and they get to the fair. It's held at like a big convention center, and the problem is their contact at the fair is a pretty brunette woman, and so they both start hitting on her. You know, they're both kind of notorious Lotharios, and so notorious Lothario, I like that. And so they can't actually stop the casualty event because they're busy hitting on this woman, and they're backstage and they're both spitting game, and it's getting more heated and more heated and more heated. And so the fisticuffs breaks out, right? James Bond cracks Indy. Indy's got that one punch power. Bow, right? He hits the Brit. They stumble through the curtain. The curtain drops, and it's an auditorium full of the bad guys prepping for the bad event. And Craig's going to tell you what happens.
And on top of that, the woman they were hitting on was actually the mastermind. And so somehow or other, they managed to stumble literally their way to kind of a semi-victory, but they're kind of outnumbered, right? They've got a whole auditorium of bad guys coming after them. And he's like, you got us into this. And James Bond's like, look, son, it's time to have a serious talk about, well, the birds and the bees. You know, I saw how you were kind of, handling yourself with the mastermind, and you just don't have game. I'm embarrassed for you to be my son. And
whip out too early.
It's like you have a few things to learn, and Indiana Jones like, Dad, I don't know if this is the time. We've got about 2,500 bad guys currently rushing us on stage. I think that maybe we should turn to Kevin Tumlinson and see how we can get out of this.
All right, as the bad guys are rushing onto stage, Indy readies his whip. James Bond readies his multi-purpose laser belt buckle, and and just as they are about to meet their doom, Lara Croft Tomb Raider comes bursting in a small plane, a small engine airplane, and takes out the crowd and shows them how it's done, and it treats them both to a dinner, and James Bond wins the coin toss and chooses steaks. And Indy says, steaks. Why did it have to be steaks? The end.
Well done.
Why did it have to be steaks?
Why did it have to be
Nice.
steaks?
I may not have taken that game as seriously as everyone intended me to.
No, I think that all went swimmingly. That was a lot of fun. We're gonna have to do that one again. As I write down, why did it have to be steaks? All right, STEA. Okay, so it's an intermission. Anybody have anything to announce? Anything to promote?
I finally do this week. I finally do.
I do. So I do too. So go ahead, Rory.
Go ahead, guys.
Okay.
What do you got?
So next week, I'm saying it now because we won't have SotS in time to say it again. But next week, my box set for my main series, the Porter series, the box set's going to be 99 cents for the first part of next week up through Wednesday or maybe Thursday. It depends on when I set it for. But it's 99 cents. It's got a couple hundred good reviews on it. It's quality entertainment. So for $1, you can get 3 full-length stories and a exclusive novella that only comes with the box set. So if you've got $1 to spend next week, I can hook you up with some good writing. Just go to Amazon and get the box set. So
all right, what's the name of that box set again?
It's called the Porter Series Volume 1.
The Porter Series Volume 1. All right, thanks, RA. And you can also go to storyonthespot.live and get to RA's website that way. Kevin, what do you have to promote?
So I was trying to talk about this earlier, and I'm in a box set with a bunch of other amazing authors called Her Silent Shadow, so I did get that right. It is available for pre-order right now, and if you go to son of a bitch, I can't find the actual URL.
That URL does not sound appropriate.
Go search for Her Silent Shadow.
Her Silent Shadow.
Yeah, on your bookstore choice. And
you might find it. Consider it like an adventure. You have to go find it yourself.
You might find it. Do that and Tumlinson, and you'll probably find. I cannot believe I can't find that. They must have deleted the link off of the Facebook page. I went to all that trouble too.
All Craig has to announce is that he's working on the beard. It's coming back.
I have an announcement.
Craig has an announcement.
Good.
So yes, Night at Key West, the book set in the 1930s, Private Eye, is now 99 cents, and there's a free short story that accompanies it. So you can grab the free short story on any retailer because these are both wide distribution now, and pick up the book for 99 cents. So
Nice.
Go out there and get her done.
Get her
Get her done.
Nice. Okay, here's round 3. It's probably our last round. This is called Explosive Holes. Police in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania continue to investigate 2 explosive incidents in area porta potties. No one was injured in either explosion. The first was strong enough to blow apart the toilet and damage a nearby home, police said. The second came only days after the first. Pittsburgh's bomb squad and crime unit is working to determine what types of explosives were used and whether the events are related. Now, I expect a clean round, classy. Just kidding. Who's going to go first to talk about the explosive porta potties?
Okay.
Kevin's got it.
I'll go. No, I don't, but I'll do it. I don't have anything, but I'll do it. So what's happening here is someone has stolen a quantity of uranium, and they have hidden it somewhere in the city. Now, the problem is they were supposed to have hidden it along with a detonating device that would actually radiate Pittsburgh and cause a huge event that would hopefully, in their eyes, spark some sort of conflict or war. Bring down the United States. That's the goal. They chose Pittsburgh because it's just local to them, so no real strategic significance there. But the problem is they forgot to attach the explosive device to the uranium. So what they have started doing is going around to every porta potty. They don't remember where it is. And so they're just dropping explosives into every porta potty as they go, trying to detonate this uranium and start this event. And unbeknownst to them, the contaminated porta potty has already been removed and emptied and sent into the waste treatment, and so that uranium is just floating around in the water supply somewhere. So, ironically, they may still kill millions, but not this day.
Not today.
Get her done.
Well, RA is looking pensive. RA is sitting back, which doesn't usually happen, which means he's thinking about something. RA, you got a story pitch, or do you need to continue being pensive for another minute?
I think I can go if you want.
I would love it if. Oh, I would love it. Yes, I'm shutting up now.
Well, do you want to go, RA? Do you want me to go?
Come on, I started with nothing.
You, sir.
No idea.
And you ended with nothing as well.
I ended with a massive exposure to uranium.
Ended with turds.
Radioactive crap.
Anywho.
Ouch. Okay, Craig.
So what is happening here?
Say good day, sir.
Is that we have a dictator from one of these, North Korea, let's just say, and he will only use bathrooms that only he can use. Like, he won't use bathrooms that have been frequented by anybody else. But this Pennsylvania is going to be an outdoor event that he's going to be at, and we're going to need something. So they get a couple of porta potties just for him, and they have 2, so nobody knows which one he's in, right? So it's sort of like having 2 Air Force Ones or whatever, or 2 Marine ones. You never know where the president actually is. So in this case, 2 porta potties. The problem is, before he gets to the event, the crowd is waiting for him to arrive, and a guy named John Johnson
wasn't John Gitterdone.
That doesn't count.
I'm trying to reform my ways, Jim, and you keep reeling me back into the inappropriate bonus words.
Just when I thought I was out,
New Hampshire,
pull me back in.
So anyway, that is indeed his name. So John Gitterdone, he has been frequenting the local taco shop, And while he's waiting for the dictator to arrive, because he really wants to get a look at him, and it's not sitting well with him, let's just say. And so he's like, you know what? He makes sure nobody's looking. He makes a beeline for these porta potties that are clearly marked for nobody's use but the dictator. But he jumps in there and does his business, and suddenly there's major explosions, and it turns out they have been rigged to go off with the smell of any sort of human gases, let's say, and they know that the dictator is notorious for that. But because this is a situation where the entire world was saved by a sketchy burrito, and there's a title for your podcast too.
That's a good one. Saved by a sketchy burrito. All right,
a John Gitterdone Thriller.
All right, we're all going to co-write one book, and it's going to be the John Gitterdone Thriller.
Under the John Gitterdone label.
Under Gitterdone Publishing.
I could just imagine this guy on the front cover. He's got his shirt like peeking up over his belly button. Got a John Deere cap on.
It's just like captures him mid tobacco spit.
Yeah, we'll all write 2 or 3 chapters and just put it out there as is under different names.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
All right, viewers and listeners, you heard it here first. Coming soon, John Gitterdone. From the Story on the Spot guys. We don't need Nick's permission. We'll just tell him he's working on it.
That's funny.
All right. It's time to.
Oh, okay. Annie,
that up. Let's get it.
All right. So I think that when we were dealing in the 50s and the 60s with the Cold War, you guys are familiar that we had missiles, ICBMs, all throughout the heartland, and they are hidden in silos, deep in the earth. And the problem is the silos locations were classified so highly that most of the people who knew where they were have passed away. The knowledge didn't really pass down. Well, there's a nefarious organization in the country that's bent on finding some of these abandoned ICBM silos and turn them around and use them in future conflicts with friendly nations. And so our hero, ironically enough, is named John Gitterdone, is frantically working to stop that from happening. And so what's happened is when there was a very old engineer passed away, and then when his belongings went into like will and probate, they found these plans. Well, once these plans hit the market, it's been a race in time between John and the nefarious organization. All right. So what John's trying to do is deactivate these ICBMs, right? He can't take them with him. He can't move them. That's a big production. But if he renders them inert and then gets rid of the blasting cap, destroys the blasting cap, the ICBM doesn't do anything. And so his plan is, he needs somewhere to work while he's doing this, right? You can't just start digging in people's lawns, because they don't even know what's going on underneath their houses. And so what he does is he tells them that he's from Public Works Company, and he gets a Porto-John delivered. Well, it's a false bottom Porto-John. So he puts the Porto-John down, crawls down into it, and that's when he messes with like the blasting caps and things like that. And so he's been successful all these times that you never heard about, but these last 2 instances were where the bad guys show up at the same time and a fight ensues. And so the explosion is him hastily leaving instead of just diffusing the bomb. And so we're working up to a finale where it takes place in Nebraska at a music festival, right? And there are hundreds of Porto-Johns out there, and John can't remember which one he delivered and which one is the right one. And so it's just running gun battles through a music festival, people tripping over Porto-Johns and stuff like that. So I think that's what's happening.
So what you're saying is John stopped getting her done?
Yeah, he's not getting
I
her
take
done.
issue. I take issue with our story because he said ICBM like 20 times in a story.
I was gonna go
porta
BM,
potty,
but I just
and
didn't, man.
never once said it was a very cold, wintry day. And we were looking for ICBMs in these porta potties.
I know. I wanted to go BM, like I wanted to make that the bad guys organization, but Jim said keep it clean, and I was trying to follow directions.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
I was trying to follow
Kidding.
directions, and
we don't listen to anything Jim says.
Do you think John Gitterdone's?
ICBM.
Do you think it's
In
John
that frozen
Porta Potty
porta potty.
Gitterdone? Like it's John Gitterdone? Do you think there's Porta John?
Well, I think his name's John Gitterdone, but like instead of like 007 or whatever, his call sign is Porta Potty. You know what I mean? call sign Porta Potty.
John Gitterdone Thriller.
So Kevin, Lisa Badger's throwing
know.
major shade at you in the comments. So
Swipe at me.
shots fired. Hey, Lisa, superfan Lisa also suggested that we should have a leaderboard. So that's interesting. I might have to go back and count up who's won. So all the episodes so we can see. But you know what? That is our show for this week. We would love it if you would go to storyonthespot.live, and that's where you can find and get her done there. Get her done on the site. That's our whole philosophy behind Story on the Spot. On our web presence is we say it at the beginning and end of every meeting, every beginning and end of every show meeting. And so there you can get to RA's website, you can get to Craig's website, you can get to Kevin's website and mine, and you can find those books those guys were talking about during the show, and you can also find their free books you get for signing up for their reader group. Does anybody have any parting words of wisdom?
Go find those ICBMs in those frozen porta potties.
You got to be careful out there. It's getting chilly all around the country, so you know. Insulate your porta john.
I would just like to say to everyone watching, get her done.
Get her done.
Get her done.
So long, everyone.